When a nation stands divided, one question draws the line deeper than most. Should every citizen be required to perform national public service? Tonight, two voices face off, not to shake hands, but to draw blood with words.
I believe unity is built through shared sacrifice.
I believe freedom is not a gift from the state, it's protection from it.
The younger generation is drifting. No purpose, no roots. What if we gave them something greater than a job? A calling. National service doesn't just build bridges, it saves futures.
A calling can't be assigned, and freedom doesn't grow from forced labor. You want to bind a generation with noble language, but it's still a chain.
Every citizen gains from this nation. It's not too much to give 1 year back. Learn discipline. Serve hospitals, forests, shelters, or defense. 1 year, one country, one people.
And what if I refuse? Will you jail me for refusing your idea of service? That's not unity. That's control dressed in camouflage.
They have taken their positions. The war of words begins.
Let me paint you a different picture. A classroom of teenagers in uniform learning CPR. A young woman in a fire suit rescuing flood victims in Louisiana. A young man tending to a veteran in a hospital ward. This is national service. Asterisk right now. 71% of young Americans are ineligible for military service. Obesity, education gaps, criminal records. We failed them before they turned 20. But give them structure, purpose, shared challenge, and they become citizens. Not consumers, not influencers. Citizens. Asterisk Switzerland, Israel, South Korea. These countries don't just draft for defense. They create a shared rite of passage. In Switzerland, over 60% of youth say service helped them mature. In the U.S., Peace Corps alumni report higher civic engagement, job success, and life satisfaction. We're not asking for sacrifice, we're offering transformation.
You talk like this is a summer camp with medals. What you're offering is state-approved character engineering.
What are we engineering now? TikTok soldiers? A culture that forgets 9/11s, ignores its elders, and scrolls past suffering? We don't need a bigger army. We need a stronger citizen. Asterisk we ask them to serve not because they owe us, but because the country is not complete without them.
You speak of duty, I speak of choice. You say the youth are drifting. Maybe they are, but a leash doesn't teach direction. It teaches obedience. Asterisk. Today, it's hospitals and forests. Tomorrow, who decides the mission? A red president wants them in oil fields. A blue president wants them policing racism. You've built a machine. Now tell me, who drives it? Asterisk you want to fix the youth? How generous of the state to rescue us from freedom. Service isn't noble when it's mandatory. It's just nationalism with a pretty face. You say service will unite us. I say, forced unity is how empires collapse. Soviet Russia tried that. Nazi Germany tried that. And yet, here you are, dressed in stars, selling the same lie. Asterisk the road to tyranny isn't lined with tanks. It's paved with good intentions. You call it service, I call it submission.
You speak of liberty, but freedom without obligation is decay. You think the nation is a vending machine. Insert taxes. Receive protection. But know a country is something you sweat for. Bleed for. Build with your bare hands.
Beautiful speech, bravo. But I didn't sign a contract with the state. I'm not its soldier, its servant, or its savior. I was born free, not born into debt.
Then who does this country belong to? The ones who take, complain, consume, or the ones who give, serve, and stand up when the siren wails? You want ownership without responsibility. That's not freedom. That's freeloading.
You confuse loyalty with submission. I can love my country and refuse its demands. Real patriotism is consensual. Otherwise, it's not pride, it's programming.
You fear control. I fear collapse. What keeps a nation alive? An economy? An army? No. It's the millions of invisible acts of sacrifice no one asks for but someone does anyway.
Then let them do it freely. Or it's not a nation of citizens, it's a nation of subjects.
Our grandparents stormed beaches at 19. Today's single quotes S youth can't survive without phone chargers and mental health days. You ask them to serve their country and they say, "Is there Wi-Fi? Where did the fire go? Where did the backbone go?"
That's rich. You blame the kids. But you built the system that broke them. They were raised on war, debt, climate doom, and screens. You gave them anxiety, inflation, and fake dreams. Now you want their loyalty too.
My son volunteered at 18. He didn't carry a gun. He rebuilt homes after Katrina. He said, "Dad, it's the first time I felt useful. That's what service gives. Identity. Not as a brand, but as a soul."
That was his choice. And that's beautiful. But force that on the next kid, and you steal its meaning.
We are not enemies. We're ancestors in training. But if we don't teach them how to carry this country, they'll drop it.
Or maybe they'll build a better one without your blueprints.
Freedom is not doing whatever you want. That's chaos, not liberty. Freedom has borders, not walls. But values. And if you're free to live here, benefit here, build a future here, you owe it something.
Freedom that comes with an invoice isn't freedom. It's a transaction. The moment I owe you my body, my time, my youth, I'm not a citizen. I'm property.
So we just become a nation of passengers? Let the few pull the weight while the rest scroll TikTok and critique from the couch?
Better to choose stillness than march under a flag you never chose. And by the way, some people serve this country more by protesting it than by policing it.
What happens when everyone decides freedom means no sacrifice? No soldiers, no firefighters, no builders. What do you get? Freedom? No, you get entropy.
And what happens when every dream is chained to a duty? When every citizen is just a state employee in disguise? You don't get order, you get obedience with a national anthem. Freedom isn't a reward. It's the default.
You want freedom without roots. That leads to something far darker than control. It leads to collapse. No borders, no service, no shared story. Everyone living for themselves. Cities burning while people live stream it for clout. And one day, when the enemies are at the gate, you'll ask, who will fight for us? And the silence will answer.
That's your fear talking. Let me show you what happens when people are truly free. When no one's forced to serve, but chooses to create. When education is voluntary, not indoctrination. When patriotism is earned, not required. You think freedom creates weakness. I think it unlocks genius.
And who defends that genius when it's under attack? Who takes the bullet while the artists paint? Just promise me this. If your world comes true. Don't forget the ones who bled to give you the freedom to imagine it.
You think freedom creates weakness. I think it unlocks genius. Maybe. The artist is the warrior now. Maybe we don't need a battlefield. Just a blank canvas big enough for everyone.
This debate ends here. I hope you like this debate. Please like this video and tell me which personalities debate on this channel. Must subscribe this channel more for hot debates. Goodbye, see you in the next debate. Take care.